Listen, the next decision the Cleveland Browns make might be the most important one in franchise history, and I'm not exaggerating. We're standing at a crossroads right now where one choice could vault us into contention, and the other? It could bury us for another half-decade. The coaching search is on, the candidates are lining up, and the stakes have never been higher. So buckle up, because we're about to break down every angle of this thing. And trust me, it gets wild. Kevin Stefanski is gone. After back-to-back seasons of offensive incompetence, ranking dead last in points per game in 2024 and second to last in 2025, the front office finally pulled the trigger. And honestly, it was overdue. You can't watch an elite defense carry a lifeless offense week after week and pretend everything's fine. Something had to give, and it did. Now here's where it gets interesting. According to Adam Schefter, the Browns have a clear direction. Go offensive. Makes total sense, right? You got Jim Schwartz running a top-5 defense that ranked 4th in total defense, 3rd against the pass, and gave up just 22 points per game. Myles Garrett just put up 23 sacks and is about to win Defensive Player of the Year. The defensive line was the most dominant in football. Why on earth would you risk losing Schwartz by bringing in another defensive-minded head coach who might push him out the door? You wouldn't. You absolutely wouldn't. Except the Browns just requested an interview with Jesse Minter, the Chargers' defensive coordinator. And that's where this whole thing takes a turn, because Minter isn't just some random name. He's one of the hottest coaching prospects in the entire cycle. He worked under both Harbaugh brothers, was the defensive coordinator at Michigan during their national championship run, and has the Chargers' defense playing lights out. Jordan Schultz is reporting he's among the most sought-after candidates out there. So what are we doing here? I thought we were going offensive? Here's the thing about Minter. He's connected to the Harbaugh tree, and there's this whole subplot about John Harbaugh potentially having interest in Cleveland because of his family ties to the Browns. That's probably a pipe dream, but it's floating out there. Minter has been part of that coaching family since 2017, so there's familiarity. But let's be real for a second. The guy lives in Los Angeles right now. He's coaching the Chargers. You really think he's leaving sunny California to come to Cleveland in January? And even if he would, are we really willing to gamble on losing Jim Schwartz just to bring in another defensive guy when our offense has been a dumpster fire for 2 straight years? That's the paradox Cleveland is stuck in right now. And it's driving me crazy because on one hand, Schefter's logic is bulletproof. Fix the offense, keep Schwartz, ride this elite defense to the playoffs. Simple. But then the interview list comes out, and it's all over the map. Tommy Rees, Dan Pitcher from the Bengals, Todd Monken from the Ravens. It's like they're going down the AFC North offensive coordinator aisle, just grabbing whoever's available. Are any of these guys getting chased by other teams? Not really. And that's starting to feel familiar. Remember when Cleveland hired Stefanski? Nobody else had interviewed him. The Browns were zigging while everyone else zagged, and for a minute it looked brilliant. But now we're doing it again, and I have to ask, are we finding hidden gems, or are we just overthinking this whole thing while the obvious answers sit right in front of us? Let's talk about Cliff Kingsbury for a second, because his name is back in play after parting ways with Washington. Look at what he did with Jaden Daniels in 2024. 25 touchdowns, 9 picks, a surprise run to the NFC Championship game. That's exactly the kind of quarterback. Development and offensive creativity Cleveland desperately needs. Now, 2025 was a step back. Injuries played a role. The offense didn't look the same. I get it. But if you're trying to either salvage Deshaun Watson or develop the next franchise quarterback, Kingsbury knows how to do that. He's proven it. The question is whether Cleveland is willing to take a shot on someone with some baggage when the safer options are sitting there. Then there's Clint Kubiak, and this one's fascinating because at 38 years old, he's already been an offensive coordinator with the Vikings, Saints, and Seahawks. Look at what happened with Sam Darnold in 2025 under Kubiak's system. Career resurgence. He comes from a Shanahan coaching tree. His dad is Gary Kubiak. He's got offensive DNA coursing through his veins. But here's the problem. Some people are saying he's just Kevin Stefanski 2.0. Quiet, cerebral, play-action heavy. Are we really about to hire the same archetype we just fired? Because that would be the most Cleveland Browns thing ever. And yet, teams are lining up for this guy. Falcons, Ravens, Raiders, Cardinals, they're all interested. Cleveland hasn't even interviewed him yet, which is wild considering the competition. This is someone who's going to be a head coach somewhere very soon. The question is whether the Browns are going to move fast enough to even get in the conversation, or if they're going to watch him sign somewhere else while they're still deliberating. Now, let me throw a wild card at you, Davis Webb. 30 years old, coaching quarterbacks and coordinating the pass game in Denver. He's been around elite offensive minds, worked with Cliff Kingsbury in college, Sean Payton in the NFL. He helped guide Bo Nix through a promising rookie season, and people around the league are calling him one of the brightest young offensive minds out there. Could he make the jump straight to head coach? It's rare, sure. But wouldn't it be something if Cleveland took a chance on a former quarterback who understands the position, who's studied under the best, and who's already showing he can develop young talent? At the very least, get him in for an interview and see what he's about. And then there's the elephant in the room, Mike McCarthy. Super Bowl champion, years of playoff experience, instant credibility in the locker room. The Giants interviewed him, other teams are circling, and Cleveland? Crickets. Why? Why aren't we at least having that conversation? I get it, his recent run in Dallas didn't end the way anyone wanted, but the man knows how to win. He knows how to develop quarterbacks. He knows how to handle the pressure that comes with a job like this. Because let's be honest, Cleveland isn't just any coaching job anymore. This is high stakes. This is Deshaun Watson's massive contract. This is a top 5 defense that cannot be wasted again. This is a fan base that's been through too much to be told to be patient one more time. So when you're choosing between rising coordinators and proven head coaches, you have to ask yourself, are we willing to gamble again? Because Dan Pitcher and Tommy Rees sound fine on paper, but are they ready to walk into the AFC North and outcoach Mike Tomlin, Zach Taylor, or John Harbaugh? Are they ready for the pressure that comes with trying to fix Deshaun Watson or make the difficult call to move on and build around someone new? That's a completely different level than calling plays in Cincinnati or coaching a bowl game. Let's not dance around the quarterback situation, because whoever takes this job has to elevate the offense immediately. Whether it's Watson, a rookie, or a bridge guy, the new head coach needs a plan from day one. That's why Clint Kubiak makes so much sense, even with the Stefanski comparisons. He's already got a track record of reviving careers. He understands how to scheme around limitations, which is something Cleveland's staff completely failed to do for 2 straight seasons. But again, if we go that route, and it doesn't work, we're right back where we started. What about the overlooked guys? Davis Webb might not be ready for a head coaching gig just yet, but he's someone to monitor closely. There's something about former quarterbacks who've been in those rooms, studied under the best coaches in football, and are now molding the next generation. That kind of football mind can transform a franchise. Maybe he's a year or 2 away, but he's worth tracking, especially if Cleveland is thinking long-term development. As for the current interview list, Aiden O'Connell, Todd Monken, Dan Pitcher, they've all had success in their roles, but do they really move the needle? Monken is especially puzzling. After Georgia, he landed with the Ravens, and while he's respected, he hasn't exactly turned Lamar Jackson back into an MVP. Dan Pitcher has been under Zach Taylor, but most people credit the Bengals' success to Joe Burrow and Brian Callahan, not the offensive infrastructure. Are these really the minds we want to hitch the franchise's future to? Here's what drives me nuts. The Browns always seem to zig when everyone else zags. Nobody was interviewing Stefanski in 2020, and Cleveland made the move anyway. For a while it worked. But now, with the stakes this high, maybe it's time to zig in a different direction. Maybe it's time to stop being the team that overthinks every decision and just bring in someone with a proven track record. Someone who knows how to build an offense, manage personalities, and lead a building. Because this is the moment. You've got an elite defense that's championship caliber. You've got a polarizing quarterback with a monster contract. You've got cap decisions looming, a top 6 pick in the 2026 draft, and a fan base that's desperate for something real, something sustainable. The wrong hire here sets the franchise back another 5 years minimum. The right one. It could finally unlock what Browns fans have waited decades to see, a consistent winner. So who's it going to be? A proven name like Mike McCarthy, who brings instant credibility? A rising star like Clint Kubiak, who could be the next offensive genius? A defensive mastermind like Jesse Minter, who might cost us Jim Schwartz but could unify the entire team? Or do we take a swing on someone like Davis Webb and bet on the future? Whatever happens, this decision is going to define the next chapter of Cleveland football, and we're going to be here covering every single development. If you want Browns news first and you want it analyzed the right way, make sure you're subscribed to Browns Breakout and hit that like button because we're just getting started. This coaching search is about to get even more intense, and when the decision finally comes down, it's either going to launch us into contention or set us back into the darkness we've been trying to escape for 20 years. Let's hope the front office gets this one right, because we can't afford another miss. Not this time. Go Browns.